Hey YouTube, welcome back to the Lucky Paper channel. We are here once again with a draft of a new cube. This is a friend of mine's concrete cube. It is a 4-player 180 card cube that is designed to be played on the sidewalk with your friends. And it has an artifact theme because, quote unquote, a bunch of metal objects will probably be the least impacted by being played on concrete. I have never played this cube before, so we are going to try and figure it out on the fly together. It definitely has a very heavy artifact theme. We see 70 colorless artifacts here, which is quite a few, and then a lot of the cards in the actual card sections are also artifacts. I would probably say the majority of cards here are artifacts. Let's see. So 129 of 180 cards are artifacts. That's a lot. I don't know what to make of that, to be honest. So there's definitely some cards that jump out at me as potential just very powerful cards that maybe stand a little higher above the rest, but not really sure of that, to be honest. What I don't know is a couple things. I don't know how highly here. Hey, hold on a sec. You're not allowed to be in chat. You're gonna be stream sniping. No stream sniping. You gotta turn off the stream for your own draft. I don't know how highly to take disenchant effects here, right? Like Nature's Claim is going to remove 139 of or 129 of 180 cards in the cube. That seems messed up. So do I try and draft like a more controlling deck with as many disenchants as I can get and just assume I'll be able to remove anything that matters? Do I try to play an aggressive deck that takes advantage of some of the messed up artifact payoffs? For example, a thing like Shrapnel Blast, just 5 mana or 2 mana to deal 5 damage directly to your opponent is a pretty nuts burn spell. It's an instant. You can respond to any kind of removal or blocking in combat with it. That card seems really good. I also don't know if I'm maybe supposed to be doing like a synergistic engine style deck where I get like a blood fountain, going with some other things and generate a bunch of value over time with a marionette master and sacrificing things to Disciple of the Vault and like just grinding my opponent out even without attacking. I'm not sure. There's a lot of Artifact Matters payoffs. I think all 4 of us are going to be playing an Artifact Matters deck with Artifact Matters payoffs, so that is going to be interesting. There is a full cycle of the indestructible artifact lands, the bridges in here, and then also some additional fixing and creature lands going on. One of each of the artifact lands from Mirrodin. I will not be taking these at all. I do not want my land to get shattered, and I think that's going to be very likely. Hey, Maxwell Grimm. This cube is meant to be played 1v1, even though it is a 4-player cube. This is a friend of mine. This is Alex's cube. He's known by Alveric on the various cube discords, so you might know him by that name. He's coming up to play with us on Monday, so yeah. I can see everybody's here ready for the draft. I don't really know what to make of this environment. Like, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be doing like Emry, Mystic Forge, like value stuff where I'm trying to be getting card advantage, Thought Monitor, Thoughtcast. I'm not sure if I'm just supposed to be removing stuff with the disenchants or if I'm supposed to be doing something more aggressive. We're going to kind of figure it out together on the fly, or not figure it out, as it were, but we're going to try. Everybody's here and ready to go, so there's no timer. Let's do it. I hope I set it up right. Let's see. Pack one, pick one. I set it to 5 packs, so hopefully it just works. Okay, so right out of the gate, just in terms of raw power level, I think the Reality Chip is an extremely powerful card. In most contexts, this one included. However, I think a card like Abraid or Cankerbloom, given that it has that destroy target artifact mode, and again, 129 of 180 cards in this cube are artifacts, that makes me want to take one of those. I feel like they're just going to be so high value. Other things here, like, sure, Autonomous Assembler seems very good. I don't think I'm in for Voltaic Servant or Blade Coil Serpent or Culling Day. I don't know how it's pronounced. So it's really Cankerbloom or Abraid, I think. I believe more of the shatter effects are in green, so if I want to be doing that kind of thing, then I should be looking into more green. Silvok Replica can do it. Cankerbloom, and then red gives us... I do really like Shrapnel Blast. I think Gleeful Demolition is also kind of good here. All the packs are with me. Everyone else is picked. I'm going to go with Cankerbloom because it doesn't just play reactively. It can also just play aggressive. Here, there's Nature's Claim. As I talked about, I think this effect is just kind of messed up. Lion Sash is also really good. Mirror Trigger is going to get back pretty much any card in our deck, or most of the cards in our deck. Combat Courier, Icy Manipulator. These are all good. I don't also hate starting on 2 non-artifacts, because if my opponents are also going to be really high on shatters, then maybe I can blank some of their spells by playing many non-artifacts. Here we have Mishra's Factory is good. I don't want to get my land shattered, so I'm not totally excited about that, even though it's a good card in a vacuum. What does Ovia Pashiri do? I'll move my monitor real quick. I know Ovia Pashiri was for a long time the longest card name. I'm sure that's been replaced by a couple things in recent years, but 1 mana, 1/2, make a servo, make an XX, where X is the number of creatures you control. I don't like that card. So Steel Overseer, again, our creatures are largely going to be artifacts, though the one creature we have right now is not already. Recommission is good if we have very specific pieces we need to get back. Lizard Blade seems fine. I'm kind of at a loss here, I'll be honest. I think I'm going to go with Overseer. And this is the last new pack we're going to see. So, Carapace Forager, it can be a 2-mana 4/4 that doesn't die to shatters. Frogmite is going to be, I think, very often a 1 or 0 mana 2/2, which is good. Exemplar is a more aggressive card, and given the efficiency of some of the stuff we've seen, I don't think I'm thrilled about Exemplar. What are the chances that a Braid comes back around? In which case, I would definitely want Pia and Kieran Nalaar. I think with this removal, I'm going to try and go bigger and get some more value. This is a 3 bodies for 1 card. I know it's double red, but I think I'm going to go Pia and Kieran. I feel kind of yeah, so the Braid didn't come back, unsurprisingly. These are pretty much all the cards we were looking at that we didn't think were that great. So, Culling Dais, this is not, I'm thinking of Throne of Geth. This is the one that just lets you draw some cards. It's a sack outlet. I mean, Autonomous Assembler or Barb Spike seem fine as filler if we're playing white, but right now I don't really want to play white. I could just stay open and take a Voltaic Servant, which untaps my Steel Overseer. You know what? Sure. Why not? Let's do that. I don't think we're going to be playing any of those cards, to be honest. All right. Icy's really good if we're going to be a slower, more value-oriented deck. We can lock down whatever our opponent's things are most important. Wing Splicer, I know there's a lot of Golem creators in here and kind of a Golem tribal thing going on. And this one seems like one of the better ones. We get a 1/1 and a 3/3 flyer. Though it does put us in a third color. We could take it speculatively. Arcbound Tracker, I think modular here is going to be very good. So I think I'm going to take that. I don't know how often I'm going to be able to trigger its ability, but it's on color with Pia and Kieran. I think it's probably maybe a little worse than Wing Splicer. The Abrade didn't come back, which is a sign that red is maybe not open. Maybe blue is because we get this late Wing Splicer. I don't know. It's tough. I don't want to take another 4-drop. I'll take Tracker. Okay. So I do like Mishra's Factory in the one context of having modular creatures, it being able to turn it on to catch all those modular tokens if I have no other artifact creatures that are going to die. And I'm not really going to be excited about Blood Fountain or Ovia Pashiri, so a Factory it is. Carapace Forager came back, so green is maybe open. I don't hate that. I like that better than Mere Scrappling, even though we have kind of a +1/+1 counters thing going on a little bit here with Arcbound Tracker and Steel Overseer, but I think I'm going to take Carapace Forager. Carapace Forager is also worse with Steel Overseer, of note, because it's not an artifact. And we got the Culling Dais back. All right, so I don't want to play this. Arcbound Ravager, Haywire Might. Let's get to that one in a second. Don't really want to play that. I'm not really excited to play Voltaic Servant, though I might depending on what I get. So right now we're looking to be like kind of, I don't know what we're doing. I'm not sure. All right, let's look at this pack. So a lot of cards jump out at me here as potentially big power outliers. Emry, in the right environment, if there's not a lot of removal for creatures that aren't artifacts, which we have what? Abrade, Galvanic Blast, Go for the Throat, Dispatch. Other than that, the removal is going to have to be like attached to a creature in the form of like a Triskelion or a Walking Ballista, if that's even in here, which I don't think it is. So Emry might stick, and then that can generate a lot of value. Haywire Might is very similar to the Cankerbloom. It's a creature that I can put counters on with Steel Overseer. We're drafting 5 packs of 9 for a 4-person draft. I think Ravager's got to be just cracked, though, right? Surely has to be. I'm going to do it. Sack Outlet for any of the removal is good. I'm taking that. It's got to be messed up. Like I said in the pre-draft thing, I'm not taking Tree of Tales ever. I get that it triggers my artifact stuff, but I do not want my lands to get shattered. So here we have maybe Maria, Scholar of Antiquity, 3 mana 3/3. Tap an untapped non-token artifact you control to add green. Tap 2 untapped non-token artifacts. Exile the top card of your library. So if I am playing the like removal heavy, and again I say removal heavy right now, I have literally Nature's Claim and Cankerbloom and nothing else. So how removal heavy can I really be? P and Kieran also wants to go pretty big. I don't think Telegelad Justice is that great, and if green is open, that will come back. I think Ogrehead Helm is also pretty good, but really if you're doing aggressive stuff, because we're not going to be empty-handed, I don't think. I'm going to try Myria. I also kind of like the idea of drafting non-artifact creatures somewhat highly so that I don't get blown out by shatters. So if we have Pia Kieran Nalaar, Myria, and we're trying to go bigger than our opponent, removal can be good to buy us some time. Teething Wormlet, 1-mana, 1/1. Death Touch as long as you control 3 more artifacts. Whenever you control it. So you basically have to make it bigger every turn as long as just 1 counter a turn. Precursor Golem is really good. It's 3 things for 1 card. I have no other golems, so it's not going to like blow me out in the face of a removal spell. I think that's kind of a trap maybe if you have enough removal. Scrapwork Mud is really good. I think I just like Galvanic Blast, though. I want to be able to remove my opponent's key stuff, because I think there's a pretty big delta here between the best and worst cards. So let's take the Galvanic Blast. All right. Now, got another modular creature. I don't think a particularly good one. We got a First Striking Artifact, which is going to be good with all my +1/+1 counters. I say all of them. I have just Steel Overseer and Arcbound, the 2 Arcbound creatures right now. I do have Cankerbloom to proliferate my counters if I want to, so that's kind of cool. I don't think Darksteel Citadel, I don't think playing colorless land is worth it, even though it is indestructible. Rabbit Battery is cool and fun, and this is the card that goes big in the way that we talked about wanting to go bigger. Which, if we have Galvanic Blasts and Nature's Claims and stuff to like clean up the early game, maybe we just go big with these sort of synergy pieces. And again, Leech Ranger just has First Strike. Feel kind of up the creek without a paddle here. I think the Vital Splicer might come back if green is as open as we think. Okay, wow. So we got Haywire Might back, which I think is really good. I really like that here. And I think getting Haywire Might and Deconstruct back is definitely a sign that green is not really being drafted that highly, which I like. So I think that color is open. What does Mishra do? Permanents you control have word sacrifice a permanent. You can unearth all of your... Yeah, that's cute, but I don't think I'm going to go into a 3rd color for it. We did get Telegelad Justice back, which I think... I'm going to go heavy on this removal theme over the Ogrehead Helm stuff. And then if I have a lot of removal, do I just want a Precursor Golem at the top end? Probably more than a Teething Wormlet? I don't know how fast this environment is. I have absolutely no idea. So if it was a fast environment, I would want this 1-mana Death Touch creature to get on board early and do something, but I don't know if it's fast. I really have no clue. So let's take this Precursor Golem, which has a high upside, but again, I think could be a trap against the right amount of removal. Okay, Vital Splicer we got back to. So green is open, confirmed. What are the best things we're hoping to get late if green is open? I think Sereth Steel Seeker is good. Verdurous Gearhulk is really good. Would I play Maul Splicer? Did we see that one open in that pack and it didn't come back? Oh my goodness. Last pick Deconstruct. I don't know how good Deconstruct is here. I mean, it's mana neutral essentially if you get to cast it, but 3 mana is a lot to get to, so I'm not super high on it. All right, there's the Verdurous Gearhulk I just mentioned. Scrap Trawler, however, is one of the cards I had tagged as a very powerful card here. Again, so many artifacts. Getting to get stuff back is great. Atog is flavorful. I really like that it's here. Atog's a cool card, and this seems like the right kind of place for it, but I don't think I want it here. Yoshin Frontliner, Sphere of the Suns. So I'm going to take a Scrap Trawler, and if we get this Verdurous Gearhulk back, then we're in a very good spot, I think. You could definitely argue that I'm supposed to take the Gearhulk here. I have things that care about +1/+1 counters throughout my deck already, and it's probably just a beast. Maybe we'll get it back. Let's see. Scrap Trawler is what I'm taking. There's the Maul Splicer. I'm not taking 7-mana card highly, but there it is. We have Gleeful Demolition, which it's a sorcery, so we can't respond to stuff, but we can, destroy some dinky card that we have to make a bunch of goblins. If we get the indestructible land back, so if we get the red-green bridge, whatever that one is, Slagwoods Bridge, it's indestructible, but you can still target it with Gleeful Demolition and just make 3 red goblin creature tokens for 1 red mana. which seems pretty good. I don't think I'm on anything else here. I mean, Thoughtcast would be great. I don't think I am going to be playing blue. Is it worth speculating on it, though? We're only in pack 3 of 5, so... And there's so many colorless cards that my color conditions might be kind of low anyway. Like, if I'm playing green-red right now, but I have I have 3 red cards, 4 red cards, even though I'm playing green-red as my main color. I'm going to speculate on this Thoughtcast, I think. I like 2-for-1s, or, so I'm not going to play it right now, but I'm going to speculate on it. There's a Seraph Steelseeker I mentioned. There's a Silver Bluff Bridge if I wanted to play a third color. Some people on YouTube commented that this went pretty bad for me to splash into a third color in the last draft I did. But artifact enters the battlefield, you have to look at top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. If you don't put the card into your hand, you may put it into your graveyard. So graveyard matters stuff. Also just card advantage whenever an artifact enters the battlefield. So not just cast, but any of these tokens and stuff, which do I have any tokens right now, actually? No, not really. But I have P and Kieran and Vital Splicer would still trigger Steelseeker. I like Steelseeker as card advantage if we're trying to go big. Silver Bluff Bridge would be cool. Maybe it'll come back around. I don't know. All right, so Spinethopter is fine. Slow bad. So this is actually, I was really impressed with this card. Honestly, before I had played this in a cube, I was like, slow bad seems just like a commander card, basically. Playing it in Uberbear's Artifact Cube at CubeCon, it was a nightmare, right? You can just turn any artifact indestructible by sacrificing another artifact. Hopefully you get some dinky things that don't matter, and you can protect your important stuff like Scrap Trawler and I guess maybe Precursor Golem or Steel Overseer. Chromatic Sphere will help me splash, and it's just a nice little cantrip. Let me do something with my mana early in the game. But I think I'm going to try this. The threat of activation is what's really good on Slow Bad. It just makes it so your opponents can't really point, okay, we got the Gear Hulk back. I feel very good about this now. And that means that we're going to put this Precursor Golem to the side. Do I want to play this Maul Splicer? Probably not, but maybe one of my opponents is going really big too. I'll take it for the sideboard. Porcelain Legionnaire is a 2-drop. Just the threat of activation on Slow Bad means that your removal doesn't do anything. It becomes really hard to block. Here's another artifact creature. Flayer Husk. Is it like something to fill the curve out if we want? Do I want that or Blink Moth Nexus? I have Mishra's Factory already. This one does have flying, though. A really good place to dump all the counters from our modular creatures if we need to in the face of removal. I don't really want 2 colorless lands. And this one's a little better, I think, than Mishra's Factory in this environment, but I'm going to take something to fill out my curve and put that up here because it's effectively a creature. We did not get the blue-red land back, which is fine. I'm not going to play that white card, so I might as well take this bridge, maybe get something in the future. Yeah. I think I am going to play this Deconstruct right now. I think it's basically Vindicate, add 3 mana to your mana pool, which seems okay. I don't know. And then this Yoshin Frontliner. Yeah, I'm not going to play that, I don't think. I talked about filling out my curve, but I think that's pretty bad regardless. This is pack 4. We had 2 packs left. Still a lot of cards here to draft. How are we doing down here? We have 20 cards, so we're going to have plenty of playables, it seems like, already, because we have 2 whole packs left. We're already at 20 playables with a single land, so 19 playables. Yeah, you could deconstruct the Precursor Golem and make a ton of mana. That's true. That would be kind of nuts. What am I doing with that mana if I make a bunch of mana? I guess you could cast your Maul Splicer, but by the time you can already cast Precursor Golem, how much bigger are you really going there? All right, so here, Mask of Memory, Stonecoil Serpent, and Scrapyard Recombiner are jumping out at me. Honestly, Ornithopter might be okay here with the fact that I have Steel Overseer, Verdurous Gear Hulk, ways to proliferate those tokens, other modular creatures, just a 0-mana artifact for Maria or Slowbad, 0-mana artifact to trigger Arcbound Tracker. I think it actually might be okay. I think I'm going to get it on the wheel. So the question is, do I want Mask of Memory, which is a really good card advantage equipment? It's kind of messed up. These early Mirrodin equipments, like, people don't remember how messed up they were because they hadn't really figured out how to balance equipments yet. But draw 2, discard 1 every time something hits is nuts. Stonecoil Serpent is also just a really good way to spend a bunch of mana. Good way to fill out the curve no matter what. I think I'm going to take this. Recombiner, modular 2, sacrifice an artifact, search your library for a construct card via put into your hand, then shuffle your library. What other constructs do I have, actually? I have... My mouse always gets messed up when I'm streaming on OBS. You can see that, right, on your screen? So I have Overseer. Is Ravager a construct? I think it is, right? All of the Arcbound cards are constructs. Can't see it on hover. Oh, I gotta check the Oracle text. Well, let's see what Arcbound Tracker is. Is that a construct? Is Scrap Trawler a construct? I can't see any of these cards. Okay, I'm gonna take this, actually. I lied. I like the idea of being able to tutor for these key pieces. Affinity for Artifact 4/4. Monoskellion. Contagion Clasp. I think Nettlecyst is just where it's at here. Card seems really good. Yeah, I'm gonna take Nettlecyst. Big old creature. Okay, I like Spire of Industry a lot, actually. This taps for colorless or any color if you control an artifact. I'm going to control an artifact the vast majority of the time. If the board's not empty, I will probably have an artifact in play. Famous last words, but I think I like that here to actually help me fix my mana a little bit, because otherwise I only have that one dual land to pick up, which is the red-green bridge, which I think I will get, because nobody, speaking of the devil, because nobody else has been shown to be in green at all, and it's safe enough to take this here. I would also probably play a Memnite, maybe a Sylvok replica, but I'm going to take the fixing land here. Arcbound Ravager is not a construct, it's a beast. That is obscene. Egregious. Let's actually try and figure out some cuts here, because we're at 24 now, so this is, well, I guess we don't need cuts yet. We're at 21 non-land cards right now. And I overall like our card quality. Okay, so we got the Mask of Memory back. Okay, so opportunity to perhaps avoid making a mistake I was going to make. I was saying we're kind of going big and we have a lot of removal. We can play it to a strong late game strategy, but also we have some cheap creatures, and if we can just get in for some damage and start drawing cards, seems good. I'm into it. I know that red is not totally open because we didn't see the Abrade come back, and we also didn't see the Shrapnel Blast come back. And I'm afraid of that Shrapnel Blast. I think that card is screwed up here. Just deal 5 to anything by sacrificing an artifact. Seems like a pretty low cost to pay for that much upside. Not, like, thrilled about Flare Husk. I'm not thrilled about, honestly, Carapace Forager, maybe. Like, it's going to be a 2-mana 4/4 sometimes, but not all the time. I'm actually going to put that over here. I'll put these both over here so I get a better sense of what I actually like here. I do like Steel Seeker. I do like Cankerbloom. I do like all of these. I like those. I like that. And I like all these. Others agree with me about not playing these artifact lands. I'm not going to get tricked. Don't you dare try and trick me. All right, well, we can't really play these other cards. I don't really want to play an Everflowing Chalice, I don't think. I guess you can just play it on 0 when you have Merriam play, which is kind of cute, but I don't know. I'm probably not in for it. We got the Sylvok Replica back. I think that's also, I mean, it's a 1/3. This really makes Cankerbloom look totally cracked, right? Like, Cankerbloom is a 2-mana 3/2 as opposed to a 3-mana 1/3. Its activation is colorless. This does have the artifact type line, which is going to be a pro in our deck, but also a con against some removal. I don't think that's a very good card relative to what we already have, so I'm actually going to put this in the sideboard for now. All right, Simium Simulacrum is cracked. I think that card's really good. I'm going to try and wheel it, because I wheeled the Verdurous Gearhulk, I wheeled green cards all draft, and instead I'm going to start here on this Patchwork Automaton, which it still makes +1/+1 counters. It's, you know, on theme for the deck, and disconnected. Connecting. What happened? Okay, that was scary. Please don't mess up the draft, computer. I'm going to try and wheel that Simian Simulacrum. Cross my fingers. Now, you can play Simian Simulacrum in a colorless deck, so it might not come back, but I'm going to try my best. Now, Bomat Courier. I love that card so much. I don't think it's actually great in my deck. There's the Throne of Geth I was talking about earlier. I was confusing Culling Dais with. I do like having sack outlets. I already have Arcbound Ravager, Scrapyard Recombiner. Is that a sorcery speed thing? Again, the hovering is not working. It's weird. The hovering is working on the OBS preview, but not on my actual screen. No, Scrapyard Recombiner is not at sorcery speed only, so I'm really into that. So I don't think I need to take Throne of Geth very highly here. I'd rather just have... Yeah, I do have some removal. There's some games where I'll just start on Bomat Courier and kind of run away with the game. I think Circuit Mender is also good. Mycosynth Wealthbring is actually some fixing, but no, I'm going to take Bomat Courier. Destructive Revelry. The Revelry. I think Ghost Fireblade is good. It's really good. It's like a much better Bone Splitter in this environment. The Bowmat Courier doesn't really fit perfectly with this deck because I'm not trying to be super aggressive. I'm like have these +1/+1 counter things. I'm trying to like go into the late game and get these value engines set up. I have a decent bit of removal, I think, for what you can draft in this environment. That gold card has to come back, right? Right? Famous last words. Question is, what do I want instead? I mean, like, Signal Pest is cool with all the +1/+1 counter stuff. Hangerback Walker. Hangerback Walker. How did I miss this? This is what I absolutely want right here. This is incredible with modular creatures. It's incredible with counters. We're going to hope that Destructive Revelry just comes back around. Mortar Pod, Arcbound Worker, Chronomaton, Runaway Trash Bot. I think Sharvest Agent is really good here, but I do not have access to blue mana. Arcbound Shikari is also very good. Like, very, very good. Put a +1/+1 kind of each other fact. Yeah, I mean, that's really messed up. I'm honestly, so this is a 4-player draft. I am going to play my opponents. I think I might just hate this Arcbound Shikari right now. It sounds crazy, but I guess I would play Arcbound Worker or Chronomaton, but I'm not super high on them. I'm just going to hate this. I think we have plenty of playables. I think we're fine. Okay, we got the Simulacrum back. Ugh, you love to see it. Also got the Circuit Mender, another thing you love to see. We have a lot of cuts to make. I think our deck is... my deck feels good. I don't know how good it is. I've never played this cube before. And, you know, I don't want to be embarrassed by saying I think my deck is good and then having it be bad. We got the Destructive Revelry back. We definitely found the open lane. We wheeled everything we wanted to wheel pretty much this entire draft, except for the Abrade, but we knew the Abrade was never coming back. I would estimate that Anthony took the Abrade, if I had to guess. Maybe Alex. I don't think Hillary's taking Abrade. She might. It's possible. While we're waiting for these last couple cards here, chat, we're going to have 4 of us here ready to play games on Monday. What would you rather see? Would you rather see games against our guest as much as possible? Sharvest Agent. I'm not letting somebody get a last pick Sharvest Agent. I don't have that in me. Get that out of here. And then Mishra's Foundry, probably not going to play that. Anyway, we have 4 of us here doing the stream. Normally we have 3 people here, and we play every matchup, right? So we play player A and B, player B and C, and then player A and C. We have time for like 3 matches generally on streaming nights. With 4 of us here, would you rather see one person, or probably be our guest, the cube owner, play all 3 of the rest of us? Would you rather us have some random pair start and then keep the winner and then have other people swap in? What do you think is the best way to run that? Let me know in the chat. All right, so we have 30 cards here, only 3 of which are lands, so we're on 27 playables, so we need... Are we playing a 16 land? I think it's a 17 land deck. We have 7 drops and 4 drops. We're playing 17 lands. We need 4 cuts. Here's what I'm considering. Oh, but it's so good. Oh, darn. I'm going to play the things I'm considering over here, and we'll talk about it. I'm considering Bowmat Courier, Monoskellion, Deconstruct. I did end up pretty heavy on 3 drops. This is a 2 drop again. Stop tricking me, you computer. Circuit Mender, I guess, is something I'm considering. I still think Slowbad's going to be really good. That threat of activation is going to be pretty messed up. It's not synergistic with everything else we're doing, right? Like, we have all these other artifact creatures that are good with the modular stuff. How much removal do we end up with? We end up with Haymire Might, Nature's Claim, Galvanic Blast, Tel-Jalad Justice, Destructive Revelry. I think I'm going to cut the Mask of Memory. It's like a win more card, I think, in this context. If I can hit with it, it's great. But if I can't, then I'm just going to have cards I don't need that I'm falling behind on. It is really cool with Maria because you can tap the equipment and it doesn't matter that it's tapped, so you just get to make some free mana. Now take on I mean, I think Maria is going to be pretty good here, I'll be honest. Best of 1 round robin. I could see best of 1 round robin, so we don't play a full best of 3. We just play as many games as we can, swapping around. Best of 1 round robin would be 5 games, right? Right, 4 of us. It'd be 1 person would play 3. Second person would be 6 games. Yeah. So we're back to cuts here. I'm going to put Slowbad in the considerations category while I think about this a little more. Is Vital Splicer also just not that good? Regenerate. stuff, but just golems. I think I'm really high on the ability to exile artifacts. Oh, it's non-creature artifact. I actually missed that about Haywire Might. Maybe I took that too highly then. I actually don't like that. I totally lied. Yeah, I think Slowbat is nuts. I agree. You're right. Let's get back in here. I return to my initial evaluation of Slowbat, which is that it is probably cracked. All right, so we're cutting some combination. We need 4 cuts, right? Of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 of these 6 need to be cut. Which 2 are we keeping? I think I'm keeping Monoskellion. I'm really heavy on 2s. Do I bring Everflowing Chalice back into consideration given my curve? Probably not. On 2, I want to play something. I don't want to be playing a Mana Rock on 2. It's not like I'm trying to jump to 3. I'm just going to start casting spells on 2 and assume that'll be fine. Voltaic Servant. How many things? Okay, so I do actually have the Scrapyard Recombiner taps, the Steel Overseer taps, the Hangerback Walker taps. Is that enough things to be excited about a Voltaic Servant? This is hard. It's really hard to draft a new cube. I'm going to put Vital Splicer over here in the considerations for cuts too, just because of all the stuff we got going on. I think Pian and Kieran Nalaar is good enough. 3 bodies and this reach, the ability to just sacrifice cards to go to my opponent's head, seems very good. I think Tel'Jalad Justice is our worst. Well, actually, is Destructive Reveille even worse? They're both instants, right? It's 2 damage to your opponent or Scry 2. I don't know. Anything over here that's worth considering again? I don't think so. All right, so we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 31 cards. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that gets us to 22. So we can all... No, I'm crazy. I guess we need 24. Do I need to cut all of these and more? What if I cut all of these? How many does that leave me with? 24 cards minus 3 lands. Okay, so I can play 2 more cards here from this list. I think Bomat Courier can steal some games where we start with, and I think Deconstruct actually might be good enough. I think that's where I'm coming down on this. Over the Vital Splicer, Everflowing Chalice, Voltaic Servant, Haywire Might, Mask of Memory, and Circuit Mender. I like the idea of like deconstructing and like casting a... Deconstruct just seems good. It's a sorcery, which makes it worse, but... Yeah, there's a lot of cards that might come in out of the sideboard, either because of what my opponent is playing or because I realize they're actually better than I thought they were. A ton of cards here that might be better than I thought they were. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Chat and YouTube. We have 1 colorless land. Our mana's rough, but again, like we have so many cards we can cast on colorless mana. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red pips, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 green pips. So we'll play none of that. We'll play an 8, 6 mana base probably, which gives us essentially a 10-8 mana base because we have these 2 dual lands. That seems okay. That is you. The Replica might be better than Deconstruct with Scrap Trawler in the deck. Replica is really good with Scrap Trawler. Both that it lets you just proc it and get back something cheap. You know what? Given that I got the Scrap Trawler, maybe I should have prioritized Mere Retriever more highly, because that would actually allow me to set up true loops. Right now I can like work my way down the curve, which is fine, but it would be even better if I could actually set up a loop with Scrap Trawler. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to start it like this. I think maybe a free Disenchant once you get to 3 mana is better than a Silvlock Replica. But it's close. I'm on the fence. I also just have a lot of 3-drops, and this definitely seems like the worst one. I'm going to be playing any one of these other ones first. They all seem quite good. I'm not sure how good Arcbound Tracker is going to end up being. It's going to be kind of hard to proc it, I think. My curve is higher than I normally like to draft. So the idea of double spelling in this deck is going to be kind of rough, but it is good with Deconstruct. So Bones, I misread Haywire Might. It only can exile non-creature artifacts and non-creature enchantments. Part of why I think Disenchants are so good here is that they're going to remove almost every creature. I don't know what non-creatures I'm really going to care about. I mean, my opponents may end up having, stuff like Mystic Forge or something that will really matter. Or, I mean, this is the 29 cards Haywire Might can remove in the environment, right? There's no enchantments? No enchantments. So these are the 29 cards we're looking at removing. Maybe there's a couple in the colored sections, like Blood Fountain and Executioner's Capsule, Moonstar Prototype. We're not going to move any of those cards, though. So it's really only these cards, and what am I most worried about here? I guess I'm most worried about Skull Clamp. That's broken. So I'll definitely be siding it in against Skull Clamp. I'm pretty worried about Mystic Forge. Those are the two cards I'm worried about. Other than that, maybe Mimic Vat too. So again, unless it's one of those cards, I don't really think I'm going to be sacrificing it. So I think it's kind of just a 1-mana 1/1 with the artifact type line, unless I'm up against one of those cards. Again, famous last words. Wait until my opponent has all those cards. It's going to happen. I misread it in the draft. I thought it was just any artifact or enchantment, and I was super high on it. But it is an only non-creature, which I think makes it worse. Ravager and Hangerback Walker. Mwah. Really want to go off with those. That'll be fun. And I think it's going to be really good to have this Scrapyard Recombiner, which I was like middling on when I took it pack 4, pick 1-ish, I want to say. But I think that's going to be really good to go get my key pieces. And also it's just good, if I have a lot of mana, go get Virtuous Gearhulk. If I need some card advantage, go get a Scrap Trawler. Just go get whatever I need. Yeah, Ravager and Monoscaling can also do it. Monoscaling having to pay mana to take the counters off makes it a bit worse than, significantly worse than a Walking Ballista, but still, it can be very good, I think. You're right. Put a butt ton of counters on there. And I think Slowbite to protect these is going to be great too. Okay. This is the main deck I'm going to submit. I'm locking it in. I'm not sure how this is going to play out, chat. I am curious to see. Stop adjusting my land counts. Why are you doing this? You are bad and dumb. No auto land. Uncheck that box. Get out of here. Yeah, so that's what we ended up with. We are playing 17 lands, which I think is the right number for this curve. We've got minimal fixing, but again, I don't think we need fixing that much because most of our spells are colorless. Getting to double red and double green might be a little bit of a trick. We'll see. Hopefully I'll have plenty of things to do with my mana before then, that it won't make me feel like I'm caught. Deconstruct also getting to double green. Not nothing for Virtuous Gearhulk. Not nothing. And yeah, I tried to prioritize removal very highly, as you saw, and also stuff that would be card advantage positive, which means that I think maybe somebody did a better job at that than me. Maybe somebody has all of the... I took Thoughtcast speculatively. Maybe somebody has, the Thought Couriers and the... what's the colorless thing? Mystic Forges, and can generate more card advantage than me, or the Reality Chips. Like, those kind of things can go bigger than me. But that's why I have these removal spells. Just get rid of those things that matter the most, and then try and draw cards with Maria, make giant creatures. Draw cards. My card advantage is like Maria, Scrap Trawler, and then just stuff that is, kind of virtual card advantage in the form of like Pia Kiran Nalar, Virtuous Gearhulk, Simium Simulacrum. All the modular stuff is kind of, virtual card advantage, because if you remove the thing that has the thing that you cast, you can often take a lot of that value and put it somewhere else in the form of all those counters. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to be streaming these games on Monday with Hillary, Anthony, and Alex here, so tune in to twitch.TV/LuckyPaperMTG. That's what I mean. Tune into that and check it out. Yeah, if anyone's playing those stock artifact lands, that Haywire Might is coming in for sure. I guess it does actually hit the indestructible ones, too, because it exiles. So we could really cheese some people with Haywire Might there and bring it in against the lands and just exile them. We'll see. I'm not sure. Yeah, so tune into the games, and then the games will be up on YouTube. So check out later this week to see the games get uploaded. That's it for this draft, though. I'm going to end the video now.